Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. I'm here with Vernon Guillermo. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Agile Interoperable Solutions. Welcome to the show, Vernon.
Thank you very much, Michael. Glad to be here.
All right, tell me, AIS provides interoperable communication systems for first responders, schools, and office campuses. So walk me through what it is that you do, how do you do it, and what makes you different and better than anybody else out there?
Sure. Yeah, so again, Agile Interoperable Solutions is a communications solutions company. We facilitate unified incident command, connecting multiple parties and agencies together no matter what communication devices they're using. In addition to the communications side, we're able to offer specialty solutions that may be standalone are part of an integrated solutions package. Simply, it's through the use of our proprietary equipment that we're able to make non-compatible communication devices compatible, as well as provide other communications media access in critical and challenging environments.
If I may interrupt for a second, I want to stay on that point before we go any further. Give us some examples of use cases where you've got incompatible communication devices in a crisis that come together because of you.
Sure. For example, we provide radio to radio connectivity. So, for example, if one department, say a police department, is using one specific piece of equipment, such as like a Motorola radio, for example, and then a fire department may have a different radio system. Say they have Harris, a radio. Those two may not be able to connect due to the different makes and models of radios that they're using, as well as frequency. Well, we're able to make those radios connect directly, as well as making radio to cellular phone connections, as well as radio to landline connections, where today those cannot talk directly to each other. So we actually make that happen.
Is that what core system is?
Correct. Yes, that's our flagship product, and that is really, it has all of the equipment and the features necessary to make that happen through our proprietary software that allows that to happen.
I was going to go there. So this is a software platform, not hardware, right?
Correct. Yeah, we're actually utilizing hardware that's been existing for many, many years, and we're able to package everything together and then utilize our software to make those devices work in conjunction with each other and allow those communications to directly connect.
Is it through an app that can be accessed and used on the fly? I'm getting the feeling that would be the process. Is that right or no?
Well, not really. I mean, we do have an app. It's really like an encryption calling app. Mm-hmm. But mainly these, you'll need, in order to make these radios connect, you actually have to take donor radios of each of those manufacturers and models and directly connect those into the core, and that allows the different radio systems to be able to connect to each other.
How does that happen? Walk me through the mechanics of that, because we've got a tornado coming in and people are running around with their hair on fire trying to figure out where they're going to hide, and you've got emergency systems trying to access people in, say, the danger zone. So how does that put together so that somebody who is not in the emergency rescue team can get access to somebody who is in the danger zone?
Okay, so basically what that would really entail is taking our core unit, taking it to that specific area, and when all the different parties come to that area to provide the relief effort,
right,
each department would actually have to donate a radio that they're using.
Sure.
And then we take that radio and connect that to the core using a specific software cable. And it allows up to 8 different radios to be able to connect into the core. So now each department can connect directly to the core, and the core will allow all the different radios to now be able to talk to each other.
So is
it
a box?
It is. It's basically like a large suitcase, if you will.
Okay.
And it's about 150 pounds. Typically you would, keep it in a headquarter location, but it is mobile. You can actually throw it in the back of an SUV, and or a trailer, and be able to transport that to the area that needs the relief, and be able to set it up within 15 minutes.
So, just to give an example, let's say a 9/11 happened again, you get the first responders on location. They're the people in charge would come together at the central location, plug in all the devices, and then everybody gets connected.
Correct.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is a phenomenal device, and it's extremely important for these situations where communication towers are knocked down or they're just completely flooded. This can act as a standalone system, and again, very simple to set up and use. And for the people that are actually doing the communication, it's seamless to them. So they don't even know that this is all happening in the background. They're just being able to talk from one department to the other seamlessly.
That's definitely something that's going to be used on a global scale. I can see that happening anywhere. I mean, I can certainly see that, obviously the civilian population with the first responders would use it, but I can see them being, because when you connect with, let's say you have a military situation, like a terrorist situation, I can see that communication process would definitely be able to use this. Do you have any systems in place in operation now?
We do. Actually, we are now working with a large federal agency, and expressed interest with like federal agencies as well for us to provide solutions to them. We're working with a large municipality in southern Florida. We actually are deploying units in like the marine sector as well as security agencies as well. We're working with a securities firm in the DC area, setting up actually an ecosystem where we use the core as the heart of the solution. Mm-hmm. And we have our other products which expand that reach as well. What's
the rollout? Where are you going to take this?
Well, obviously it's interesting because as we, were originally launching the company and looking at where we wanted to be, obviously first responders, military applications, certainly we're at the forefront of our targets, and we're certainly getting in there. But as we're in discussions and attending all these different, product shows and expos, we're realizing that this technology can really be applied anywhere and everywhere. So I actually had a meeting yesterday with a friend of mine that he's responsible for autonomous vehicles in his company, and they utilize cellular carriers as a primary means of sending and receiving data. And so it's critical in those situations where the way that the autonomous functions is off of the cellular network. And if there's no cellular network present, then those functions in that vehicle will not work.
Right.
So we see, our products being applied, to the automotive sector, the marine sector, securities, again, obviously the military applications and first responder type folks.
I can see beyond that because with what's going on with the, all of a sudden we have these problems in our schools with the domestic terrorism, that connected to all of the first responders I see that just going straight across the board.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yep. And, we've actually done a lot of great things this year, and certainly since our last interview back in March. We've added a couple of new products, and we're going through a lot of carrier and FirstNet certifications. Hopefully that'll be all wrapped up by the end of this year. We've solidified partnerships with key suppliers and resellers to help expand our sales network. We've strengthened our engineering and R&D capability to now we're really looking into the future in developing our technology so that we certainly will be a market leader in this area.
I want to give you just a minute to go walk through the new products since the last time you were on the show. Tell our audience what the growth scale has been.
Sure. So obviously we talked about Core, but the other product that I guess we didn't really touch upon was the mobile Core, and that's just a smaller version of the Core, mainly developed to handle vehicle applications. So it's a smaller footprint. It's a 6 by 6 inch by 1 inch device. It has aluminum casing. It's extremely durable. And again, you can think of it as a very rugged hotspot on steroids, if you will. So that device, you can have up to 4 SIM cards in there. So you can have, in our situation, it'd be AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint. So now you're connected to multiple towers at the same time. So really, there's no such thing as a dead spot utilizing our technology. And then we can also bond those 4 SIM cards together. So now you have a much larger data pipe of being able to send and receive data. So you can actually stream live video. Perfect applications for police vehicles with in-camera, and body camera use and biometrics. So in my view, obviously police vehicles would be natural application for that. Ambulances, you'd be able to actually stream the data live video back to the hospital, so that once patient arrives, everything's already prepared, that kind of scenario. Fire trucks, obviously, and basically any emergency type vehicle really should have that piece of equipment because of that capability. Yeah. So with that, that will be the heart of actually the next couple of products. The next one is called the Core Patrol. And what that is that's a backpack version of the mobile core, and actually utilizes the mobile core as the heart of the solution. It's powered by a rechargeable external battery. It provides about 10 to 12 hours of operation. It was really developed to cover use in non-vehicle applications, so you can extend the communications in difficult to reach areas. Obviously normally through foot patrol or climbing, mountains and that kind of thing. You would actually have your communication device on your back. And that's, of course, extremely flexible and transportable. It weighs about 18 pounds. It's a great solution as a standalone device, or you can add it as an extension of a larger core ecosystem, if you will. And what that would do is that create a much larger Wi-Fi mesh and effective communications, and again, extending the reach of what the core would be. And really the next solution is very similar. We call it the Core Comms Kit, and it's really a hardened cased version of the backpack solution. And that's really developed as you're moving from vehicle to vehicle, basically providing a more protective covering over the system as you perhaps take it from one trunk to the next trunk, and you have additional luggage, so that it's very protected. So again, kind of our product set is really covering all aspects, right? It's air, land, and sea, and we have the multiple solutions there. Again, we want to offer this product suite as a tool for our customers so that they can really cover any situation that they're going to encounter. and be able to give them the tools and the means necessary to be able to communicate no matter where they're at. So we're also launching a 2-channel mobile core here at the end of this year, and that's going to be obviously in more focused solutions and such as areas that have limited cellular carriers, for example, or we're really developing it to be in the marine industry and getting into, the yachts and the super yachts.
I was going to go there.
Yeah, so that's going to be great because, they'll still be able to maintain their communications, 25 miles out, from the shoreline. And then as well as once they're beyond that point, be able to connect through cellular. And then as they enter the port locations or they come closer to the shoreline, the satellite service will actually automatically drop off, and then they'll actually be transferred to cellular towers. So now they don't have to pay for the constant satellite fees, which of course are very expensive. Mm-hmm. And then transfer automatically to cellular towers and kind of manage the communications that way. So it's going to be extremely fantastic solution for that industry.
No, you're either going to get bought out real quick or merge into something that I can see this happening quickly. Wow, when do you expect these rollouts to occur?
So we've actually already launched the mobile core, and as you know, the mobile core, and then the core patrol, we launched this year at the APCO show. I'm sorry, prior to the APCO show, and then during the APCO show, then we launched the core comms kit. The 2-channel we will launch certainly before the end of this year, but we're going to be attending the Miami International Boat Show, which will be at the end of October and beginning of November this year. And then we're also attending the Miami Boat Show, which will be in February of next year, launching kind of our marine division, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so certainly, by the end of this year, we'll have several deployments already out there and really gaining momentum as we come into 2019. And I think 2019 is really going to be a fantastic year for us.
It looks like it will be. Vernon, thanks for walking us through the product list and the success stories that you brought to the show. I just have nothing but total optimism for what you're doing.
Great. And I really enjoy being on the show and catching up with you again, Michael. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.